If you're not getting the results that you want with your specific person manifestation, we just may be in a state of motion rather than action. Because we all know or have seen a manifestation, or even maybe you've lived it yourself, in which it seemingly takes a long time, like maybe months or even years. And the question might arise, well, I'm doing everything perfectly. I'm doing my affirmations, my visualizations, my journaling, everything perfectly. Why are I not, or why am I not getting the results that I'm supposed to be getting? Or maybe you've seen someone else doing this and it has you worried. Like, is manifesting a specific person going to take 10 and 20 years? And the answer, hopefully to our relief, is no. Time does not impact and has nothing to do with your specific person manifestation. And I actually made a whole video on that idea, so you should definitely check it out if you want. But the reason then that we're not seeing the results we want is because we're in a state of motion, which is like a state of feeling as if we're doing something, rather than a state of action. And the way I want you to think about it is motion. If you were swimming, motion is like flailing your arms and legs in every direction without any movement, right? It makes us feel like we're doing something, but we're really not moving at all. Or we're doing the same thing. Maybe we're striding with one of our arms and we end up going in a circle. That's motion and no action is taking place. Whereas action in this metaphor is us purposefully striving, changing our form to move forward towards whatever it is that we want. And so then when we know this, and if we're feeling like we're not getting the results we want, that's okay, because now we know we're in a state of motion rather than action. And what that looks like in a specific person manifestation is us just doing affirmations, doing journaling, doing visualizations with no real desire for change, or we consistently think or retain a mental diet of someone or something in the past, like a previous state of feeling as if we weren't with our specific person. That's going to cause us to retain or stay in this motion. Because when we're in motion, it means we're either doing something pointless, not making the impact that we want, or not changing our direction or our path to actually cause our internal state to match our end state. Because as I would state, the motion is repeating affirmations, doing those techniques without feeling it, right? Feeling like I'm single and I'm trying to get this thing, right? There's no internal state change or internal impact to manifest. And that's why then perceivably time starts to go and we don't receive in our external reality exactly what it is that we want. But action is then purposeful because no techniques in your reality are technically doing anything on your external reality. When you do affirmations, when you do visualizations, when you do journaling, you are actually just using those to change your internal state, to power that divine intelligence within you that creates your reality. So then in that case, techniques, again, don't have any power. And I always like to think of this or say this idea that techniques are temporary. You're not doing your techniques forever. They're only supposed to have that impact internally. And then once you become that individual, you don't need any techniques to help you stay there, right? When you think of your name, how often do you have to affirm for your name? And you're going to say never, right? You never have to affirm for your name. You know exactly who you are. And so in that case, we want to use these techniques in a proper way instead of, again, flailing around in the water going nowhere. That's usually how we use techniques, which again is okay because we're all going to look like that in the water at the start of anything. As we begin to understand or use these things, we are going to look like that, and that's okay. But the trick is we want to start getting purposeful with it. So if you have been manifesting for a long time, me being your friend, I'm here to help you change that. We are going to alter that right here and right now. So I want to ask you, when you repeat those affirmations or when you do those visualizations, Does it really feel as if it's your reality? Or do you feel as if you are just doing something that you don't feel is true, but you're just doing it because that's how you manifest? That's going to be the deciding factor that's going to change this effect or idea of motion into action. And it's kind of, again, like doing anything that's totally unnecessary and not causing an impact. But motion is easy to get stuck in because motion, again, makes us feel like we're doing something, right? It makes us feel like motion or doing affirmations without actually making an impact is something our ego really, really loves, because we all feel uncomfortable making a state change, doing something different, doing something extra, right? That's pretty normal. But that's how we actually move out of our state into a different one. So right now, I want you to just keep an eye out for the difference between motion and action. Am I doing something because I feel like it's doing something, but it's not actually making the change internally? Because sometimes change can feel uncomfortable, and that's okay. Neville Goddard always likes to talk about state change as your previous state dying, right? So if you were dying off, would that be a necessarily easy experience? And it would depend on how much you relate to that state or not. If you really heavily relate to the state of being single or not with your specific person, you changing or moving on is going to feel really, really painful, and it's going to be really hard. And you may see things that you don't want manifest in your reality temporarily. But if you don't identify with it, then it's quick and easy. And so I want us all right now to not identify with that single state. You no longer have to identify with that single state anymore. And that's going to turn all of your motion into action. And as I mention action, though, I don't necessarily mean something you physically have to do. Action is just you attempting to change your state, okay? It's causing a change internally, becoming the individual that's in your end state rather than just pretending. Because we're never just pretending to do anything. We're either being it or we're not, right? And sometimes, there's a act as if technique. So sometimes that feels like we're pretending, but we actually are making a difference internally. So I want you to ask yourself, when I go into my affirmations, do I believe them? Ask yourself that right now. When you go into your visualization, are you feeling as if you're actually living it? Or is it just some thing you're pretending to do in your imagination, right? That not real, but really your imagination is truer than anything. When you go into your journaling, are you actually writing the diary that you had today with you and your specific person? Or are you just writing a fiction novel? Are you writing a fiction or nonfiction novel with your journaling prompts? That's going to change that motion into action. That's what's going to cause this action or change of internal state to actually occur, and then you're going to see your external reality reflect it. So that is something I have found so many individuals fall into the trap of, and I don't want you to fall into that trap as well, because you can have your manifestation. And this is usually something that definitely, if you feel like a lot of time has passed, one, I would say go watch, if you haven't already, watch the video on time. But two, it just means that we're in the state of motion. We might be flailing in the water, which again, you don't have to feel bad about it. It's okay. I've done that before. But once we know, then we can start trajecting or changing it, actually being the individual that's in our end state. Because one of the easiest ways or things to look at in your life is, am I actually doing these things that I'm talking about? Or am I just thinking about them? And that's what Neville Goddard would say. Thinking of the end or thinking from the end. Thinking of the end, so thinking about what we want without a state change, is then motion. Thinking from the end, so thinking and assuming as if you already have it, is thinking from the end, right? We are feeling as if that is our reality. So let me know what you guys think about this idea. Leave it in the comment section below. It's a way you can quickly change the feeling that a lot of time is passing into, okay, I'm going to actually make this change and see results right here and right now. Again, if you want to send me a personal question, just head over to my website, kyleaugustcoaching.com. I'd love to hear all of your awesome movement. Come on, I'm your best friend. You gotta keep me updated on all this stuff. But thank you so much for stopping by today, and I'll see you in the next video.